Uh, Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and I'm very excited to have you with us for our generative AI webinar, looking at generative AI in facility management, IT, and surrounding soft services. So the topics that we'll be covering through today is we're going to have a little look at AI itself and the business applications of this, look at a few case studies, and also a look at our bid writing software, and how we're helping clients within the industry use and adopt generative AI, and then bring that together for a general discussion and look at how generative AI is shaping the industry over the coming years and the present opportunities that are here.
So hello, everyone. My name's Jamie. I'm the CTO here at MyTender, and we had a presentation a few weeks ago today of about 12 or so directors, and only 3 of them actually had used ChatGPT before. So we're going to start off the presentation by just saying a little bit about AI, what it is. And so basically AI has a few subgenres such as machine learning, deep learning, and also natural language processing, which is sort of what we're going to be focusing in on generative AI. As you can see, a lot of sort of large language models such as OpenAI, ChatGPT on the presentation now. And basically how it works is they have these supercomputers which have sort of analyzed all text in present and human history, and they use these supercomputers to calculate the sort of probability of the next word being generated. So let's say, for example, someone's typed Luke, I am your, it's going to generate all the text throughout sort of that is sort of ingested and analyzed, and then the next word is going to be father, which is sort of hence the sort of Darth Vader picture in the bottom there. So I'll pass you on to Sam, sort of talking about the sort of enterprise level of this AI sort of applications.
We've seen a lot of businesses ourselves and just currently in times that are adopting these large language models and generative AI, from your multinational corporations through to your SMEs, are finding a lot of joy in leveling the playing field by improving their business operations through the likes of these large language models. And some applications that are very popular right now, one is business intelligence. So this is used a lot within the retail industry when analyzing consumer behavior. So you can take a lot of data, complex data sets, and simplify this through complex algorithms to present you your consumer behavior and insights. A big one is automation. So a lot of businesses are automating processes and cutting out inefficiencies to improve their employees' and organizations' productivity as a whole. Another interesting one is strategy and personas. So a lot of us will have had frustrating times with chatbots. It's not particularly the nicest of words, but AI chatbots are very, very different. So these allow you to, there's a lot of directors here, so you can get your leadership thoughts and have this built into a language model. And therefore your team can liaise with your AI chatbot, so they can bounce off quick questions and hear your company's strategy and leadership thoughts on a certain scenario without having to go through necessarily a bureaucratic system to find out answers which can be delivered at a much more efficient rate. Another application is sales and marketing. Now, this is becoming a lot more common right now, as the likes of the free applications. DALI is a good one you could have a look at. And this allows you to generate images based on text. So this is great for blog posts. Another one is just using ChatGPT. You can generate sort of blog post information, articles, informational posts. All of this stuff can be generated at an instant to be used for your marketing and sales materials. And the one I'd like to hone in on today, which is what we do at MyTender and work with businesses to do, is focusing on that automation and efficiency. So BCG have completed a few studies into generative AI for automation. And it's predicted that the trajectory of investment from businesses is going to match, if not exceed, cloud computing. So this is how serious and how big of a scale this topic is really. So as an insight sort of reference to what we do, so you can see how this automation has effects for businesses, is when bid writing is occurring. We have developed a system for bid writers which can shrink down writing time 80%. So if you had a bid that would take you a week, you can now get this done in a couple of days or so. And this time that is saved allows bid writers to really hone in on their skill sets, focus on commercials, strategic points, and these additions to your bids increase the bid quality around 15%, which in turn leads to about a win rate increase of 15%. So a case study to back that up, a business that we've worked with, is we've increased their bid throughput by 100%, and in turn they won 50% more bids than they had done in the previous month. And a parallel I'd like to bring to you guys again about automation of these sort of processes is I had the opportunity to work at an AI business in summer who were working with the NHS, and this project was focusing in on electronic health record automation. So the electronic health records of patients, this process was automated, and this led to almost £1 billion, or projected at almost £1 billion even, savings for the NHS, increasing their gross margin by 25%. So there's a huge opportunity at play through automation.
So a little bit about how our software works is we basically create customized large language models for our clients. So we work with them to collect a database of relevant bid information, which I'll sort of talk to you a little bit when we get to the demonstration. And then the AI uses RAG, retrieval augmented generation, to basically retrieve the important sections. So say there's a question that AI is gonna use its intelligence to retrieve the most sort of relevant pieces of information from that database and then collate it all together to basically have a question which an answer which answers the question, and it is sort of done in conjunction with the bid writer. This is something we always stress, that AI is not at the level to do it 100% itself. It's called augmented skill enhancement. So you're using that intelligence of the artificial intelligence as well as a human bid writer. So we're going to show you a little bit more about how that works through sort of a demonstration of our software now. So this is basically our company library, and the first page you get to when you log on to our software.
I don't think the software has come up as of yet.
Okay. Let me just, sorry, little technical difficulties. So.
The AI guy's struggling with screen sharing.
There we go. Is that okay? Yeah, cool. All right, apologies for that. So the company library, this is the first sort of thing which you get when you sort of log on to our software, and basically this is where your sort of company information is securely kept and stored. So what this is sort of previous successful bids, marketing materials such as case studies, pricing, all that information you're going to upload, and it's going to be safely secured on AWS EC2, which is a very secure infrastructure. And you can use our sort of upload PDF function, our text uploader, to basically copy and paste sort of your data into that box. And then we also have the template uploader, so that the sort of formatting, to sort of help with the formatting of the answers as well. We also have the bid tracker here, which is basically where, for some companies, they've got lots of bids going on at once. And this is a nice, effective way to sort of store and manage your bids. As you can see, we've got status, which is, pre-bids, ongoing, and also once you've completed it. And you also sort of have the option to delete that to sort of keep those bids clean. We also have a questions log, which is just a store of all the questions, answers that you've done, and also a feedback log, which is something I'll get into later, but it's basically all of the sort of prompts that you're using to continually train your own sort of language model. So onto the sort of response generator, which is basically, the sort of main part of our software, which is where you generate the bids. You basically have at the top bid name, which is where you input your bid, and then sort of the contract information, which is basically all of the specific things that the client is looking for, whether that's sort of the specific details or certain requirements that they're looking for. They are the sort of specific information which you're going to include into that box there, so that basically each bid that you create is specific to that client. It's not just a sort of copy and paste of sort of of a database. The next, as you can navigate it through on the left hand side, is basically the input or question section. This is basically where you copy and paste a question from the RFP section, and where you can also craft it. So craft the sort of the response that you want to be generated. So this can be through sort of ideas. So for example, I might say, please reference a case study. You can also put in things like such as the tone that you'd like. You could be like, please write in a professional tone. Please highlight X of the sort of bid, so that once again the bid writer is using their intelligence to sort of craft the response in their sort of own vision. On the right hand side, I'll talk to you through some of our features. We've got the select data set feature, which if it's on default, it's sort of once again using that RAG for the AI to pick out. However, if you do highlight a certain data set that you've uploaded that you want to particularly highlight and have in that answer, then you select it through that. We have two functions here, sort of one being the multi-step question answering, which is sort of just you input your question and you get a response. Or you also have the multi-step topic selection, which is the one that I'm going to be demonstrating today. And basically what that does is you basically have 3 to 5 subheadings which can be generated, and then you can sort of select which subtopics you'd like to be answered through that. And then we also have broadness of database search. So on the sort of narrow, that's going to only basically retrieve sort of less information from the database. So sort of something like a social value question, which may not have that sort of, you probably only want one sort of social value piece being generated. But you also have, let's say if it's a question on an exec summary or company history, you're probably going to want to have a broad entry because it's going to take in sort of more pieces of data from that database. So we'll click on submit here. This is basically going to generate some sort of subtopics. I'm going to click on just the the top two. So social impact and environment sustainability. And then that is basically going to work through sort of look through the database, pick out the sort of relevant information and generate an answer, as you can see. So this is the sort of editing section where you can utilize our Copilot, which for those of you who don't know, basically streamlines the editing process for the bid writer through sort of AI. And basically how this works is you highlight a section you'd like to change, and then basically you type in the instructions. I'll show you one example. So maybe here I say, please write in a more professional tone. That's basically going to go and retrieve that information. There you go, it's written in a more professional manner. And there is plenty of use cases for this. If you're looking to sort of rephrase a certain thing, you could just type it, please rephrase it. If you're looking for a bit more sort of creativity but still maintaining that professionalism, that is also something that you can do. You can make it sort of more concise. So if you sort of we're on 371 word count right now, but let's say you wanted to sort of expand that so you can reach closer to 500, if that was the sort of max, then you can you can type in please expand. You can also do things like please strengthen my value proposition. You could also, if there's a certain detail you've missed out, that's something you can also just type in the Copilot and tell it to add it nice and effectively. So you can go through that section and basically make sure that it is all sort of you're happy with the section, you've edited it, and then you're ready for it to be added to the proposal. So you click on add the proposal, and what that is going to do is basically build up your proposal question by question, response by response. And in this section here, you can go through and further manually edit it, make sure each section sort of aligns. You can have a wide range of formatting tools as well to make sure that it looks nice. And then basically you can export that full proposal in one sort of place in a sort of streamlined manner. So you finish one question, then you type in your next, go to edit it further, and then add to response. So it works in that sort of streamlined manner of building up your proposal all in one place, all safe and secure. And it just means that overall the sort of process is a lot more efficient and streamlined, and your overall quality of your bid increases. The last little feature that I'd like to touch up on is the feedback feature, which is basically you training your language model for future responses. So this is where each client of ours gets their own language model which they can train. So the use cases for this is you can sort of, let's say if there's some sort of information that has changed, you can write that. If you want to sort of integrate your company culture into answers or your company values, that this is something where in the feedback section you'd input to continuously improve and train your responses. So sort of the longer that you are sort of with us for the software and inputting these answers, the more that the responses are going to improve. So that is sort of a quick overview of the sort of software. There's obviously a few more features and use cases that I haven't gone into, but that is sort of a summary. And can you see this screen, Sam? Cool. So, and then, yeah, I'll pass you back over to Sam to sort of talk about the future landscape of generative AI and sort of the implications it's going to have into sort of a wide range of industries.
So I think you're asking about the PowerPoint,
Yeah.
still on the software. So yeah, this is just one use case. The tenders is a very common feature to be using the software for. However, I know like fire companies, for example, like to use this for manual writing. I'm speaking with a construction company, and they've been using this for PQQ documents. So it's a very tailored and specific to your organization and sort of using input and response, but in an efficient, streamlined manner. So yeah, it's very flexible, and as Jamie said, you have that feedback section to tailor the software to your needs. But to take a step back and look at generative AI from a broader scope, then I wanted to touch upon the landscape changes. And BCG are a company that provide a lot of great data and research. I'd recommend having a look at some of their studies if you're curious about AI itself. And here are some facts I pulled together from their research. And this is looking at in 2024 the industries that are going to be most affected by generative AI and the sort of metrics that can go along with that. So we have public sector work ranking very highly, but with technology and telecoms at the top of the chart. So the first area within this that I think is important to look at is this 90% of skeptical businesses. So if you're a business that's not feeling you're quite ready to adopt AI, then you're not going to be too at risk of a strategic drift. So you're likely to be saved by the sort of herd that are sort of a bit slow to adopt trends. So you're not at too much of a risk. If let's say it was 50-50, then you might be more inclined to jump ships. However, on the other hand, this does lead to a huge opportunity to gain a competitive advantage. a company that you may have been going toe to toe for with a lot of years, you can now potentially leapfrog them with long-term gains that will place you a lot higher than them, with them being sort of a little bit skeptical. And the metrics behind this competitive advantage that is at present available for businesses is mainly through productivity, cost reduction, and top line growth. Some of the figures behind that, which is ranging from about 1.3 to 1.5 times better in productivity, cost reduction, and top line growth. And this is sort of paralleled to the amount that, or correlated even to the amount that you're investing in AI. And some of the figures that I like are about day-to-day activities, so you can know what does this mean for me on a day-to-day operational basis. And in terms of productivity, day-to-day tasks can be 10 to 20% more productive. And this is a really good number about the effectiveness and efficiency of your day-to-day work. And this can go up to about 50% higher, which long term will have a lot of gains for you, benefits as a company. And as there's a lot of directors here with us today, a key figure that will be of interest to you is that these productivity gains is likely to lead to reinvestment and about a 10% uplift within revenue. So there's a lot of great benefits to be had from adopting generative AI, and a huge opportunity that is with us at present.
So yeah, pretty much just to wrap up what Sam's saying is that getting involved in AI now is definitely a competitive advantage, because you're going to reap the benefits of that productivity gain, that cost reduction, and overall sort of that growth level. So, it is obviously still early days with AI, but adopting it now is definitely going to be an advantage for your company and also for your sort of revenue. So I mean, we'll open the floor to questions now. I believe there might be some in the chat. So I'm just going to quickly go and check that now.
So to start off with the question about specific word counts, there isn't a feature to direct an exact word count. However, it is very controlled. For example, each subtopic when you're selecting is around 250 to 300 words. So you can pick out the topics you like and manage the word count that way. And the Copilot function, which Jamie touched upon, allows you to increase word count, decrease word count. So, and we have special prompts which work to manage the word count.
So on to the next question. Hopefully that answered it. But once, as Sam said, you can use that Copilot feature to get nearer to that word count. Anthony, do you have your own reference data loaded for the AI? Yeah, so basically for this demonstration, we've sort of generated some fake data for this. So we're not using any sensitive data of our clients or anything. But for our clients, we do build them their own unique database, which, we upload with them so that it is basically all of that information stored on a private server. So that is one of the benefits of our sort of offering, is that your data is not going back and forth through the internet like it is if you're going straight onto ChatGPT or Google's Gemini. So your data is safe and secure, and then basically just retrieves it when you put in a question, retrieves it from your own database and uses the responses that way. So there's another question. A lot of tenders are on SQL pages. Can you handle the form? Can you handle that to generate the form template? Yeah, so there are lots of, the capacity on sort of our software is massive. There's a lot of you can upload sort of PDFs of 50 plus pages, and also in the sort of template format that you're looking for. Yes, it can handle that. So yeah, basically that you can sort of choose to, generate the responses in your own sort of way. And that's another feature of the feedback function. You can be like, I like, please format in XYZ, and it's going to do that in the future. And then Sam, do you want to answer the question? Does your system facilitate the allocation of answers to internal subject matter experts to proofread and approve?
So the answers don't go, well, it's done on a license basis. So whoever is, and it's a single license. So the answers are, the system's built to be used in conjunction with the bid writers, because that's where this real skill set of writing a bid lies. Like AI just can't come in and all of a sudden become an experienced bid writer. So the AI system is just used to dump out that sort of 80% of the work, and then the bid writer goes through and is proofreading, as I said before, adding in those commercials and strategic key points. And this is where you can really enhance sort of the skill set of the bid writer, because their time is focused on the high quality content of the bid. So the proofreading is done by the experts, and then they sort of approve it and can export the final document out.
Yeah, and then there's a question, how does the license pricing work? So we do yeah, license pricing. Obviously, if you are working in a big organization or a consultancy and you're looking for a lot of licenses, then we do offer sort of a bulk discount on that. Sort of for the more you have, the more sort of discount that we give you. But yeah, so if there's any sort of further questions, we're happy to sort of answer that. Just reach out to us on LinkedIn or anything. But yeah, is there any sort of more questions that are coming through in the chat? I mean, we're pretty bang on time in terms of finishing at 1:30, but if that is the bid writer feedback, I don't know. So the the feedback will, it is dynamic in the sense if you put it into that feedback section at the bottom, then that is where it learns. If you do manually edit it sort of from your you know, just manual edits in the sort of proposal section, then our system's not yet trained to do that. However, it is definitely something we're looking to do in the future. But in terms of the feedback and improving your model, then that would be something which you'd include at the bottom, which would effectively work to improve the system.
So it doesn't automatically learn from the edits you're making. However, if you note down the edits that you have made, you input that manually into the feedback section, then the AI model does learn directly. So in a way, yes, but it doesn't do it sort of in an automated fashion.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's sort of all the questions there. I mean, big thank you for sort of coming. I think everyone who has turned up will get a recording of the webinar. If there is any sort of further information that you guys would like or sort of have missed, but obviously me and Sam, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn, our emails as well, at Jamie@mytender or Sam@mytender. You know, we're happy to sort of talk more and sort of apply it to your own business as well. So I hope you guys gained some value from that. And yes, thank you very much once again for showing up.
Thank you, guys.